Sometimes there are singular moments in a person's life which change their life entirely. They have such an impact, that single moment, that their entire life is impacted and affected. Their trajectory in life changes just from that moment. And it's always fascinating to hear those moments. It's even more fascinating when we observe them in our own lives, because if we don't observe them, that means we probably missed them. There is a great professor, a Russian Jew by the name of Professor Herman Branover. He's a world-renowned scientist, an expert in hydromagnetic field. Um, he's brought a lot to that of awareness to that field because of his ability to think way outside the box. And his studies were in Russia, and he was an outstanding student. He's a brilliant mind. When he had top grades, and when he applied as a faculty member in the Department of Physics in the Leningrad University, he was sure that he would receive the position because he was the top in his field. And he got the letter after he submitted for the job, and he opened it up, and he was denied the position. He said that the shock was so strong that he was wet to his bones, and he was humiliated and miserable. And then he said that he did not know that this moment, when he fully understood that he is not like everyone else and that he's a Jew, he didn't know in that moment, when he had this realization that was clear as to why he didn't get the job, that this moment would be the beginning of, as he describes it, an important and happy turn in my life. Because it was in that moment that he got real clarity about a truth. And that truth is that he is different than the rest of the world. He is a Jew. And if the Jew doesn't realize that, the world reminds the Jew over and over and over again. And the gift, which he came to realize, is that when we, the Jew, own that, and we begin to ask ourselves, what does it mean to be a Jew? And we begin to find the answer to that question, as he had, then we begin to realize that this moment, which was so oppressive, was actually a moment of great liberation. And this is such a deep insight, not only in the idea of who we are, what it means to be a Jew, but also in those moments when something very painful, possibly crushing, happens in our life, and we are so overwhelmed by it. And actually, everything that comes from God is good. And the blessing is when we realize that that crushing moment is actually just pushing us away from where we don't belong and pushing us towards where God intends for us to go.